or they're coming in, my intent is to try to use this format in the future, and I'll talk to you more about this as we go. I don't mind you all keeping muted, or you can unmute as you see fit. Also know that there's a chat room, but I'd like to be able to talk as much as we can. So I'd like to start things out with the fact that right now we stand at 28 paid members, 3 outstanding. We haven't started the meeting yet. Current SAL paid members, 11, 4 are outstanding, but they are going to have their dues paid. It was sent out in the mail today. We had 30 members 2 weeks ago. Believe it or not, the Post hasn't had 30 members in decades. But we had 2 people pass, and we're back down to 28. But that doesn't mean anything bad. So at first, I would like to basically, you guys can all salute if you wish, or whatever. But I would ask that Jason, if you could lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
All right, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
All right. Do you have a flag?
Virtual flag.
All right. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, you can. Thank you, everybody. And I'll also ask Jason if he could read the preamble to the Constitution.
Preamble to the Constitution of the American Legion. For God and country we associate ourselves together for the following purposes: to uphold and
defend the Constitution.
Constitution of the United States of America, to maintain law and order, to foster and perpetuate a 100% Americanism, to preserve the memories and incidents of our associations in the great wars, to inculcate a sense of individual obligation to the community, state, and nation, to combat the autocracy of both the classes and the masses, to make right the master of might, to promote peace and goodwill on earth, to safeguard and transmit to posterity the principles of justice, freedom, and democracy, to consecrate and sanctify our comradeship by our devotion to mutual helpfulness.
With that said, thank you, Vice Commander. I declare the Riverside American Legion Post 488 Department of Illinois meeting for this great date of March 27, 2020. I declare it convened. So usually we have people sign in, but I see who is attending today, so there's no need to sign in. I'm going to dispense with reading of the minutes. You all saw the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The minutes are approved, and thank you, Marla, for helping us get back track on our minutes. Really, really appreciate it. And one of our members a few months ago recommended that we have a reading and a moment of silence. So I thought it would be appropriate if we did a reading for Lawrence Bakelich, who passed away just recently. So I will read this for all of you, and then we'll have a moment of silence. Lawrence Bakelich, Jr., 91, of Riverside, died on February 8th, 2020. Born on December 7th, 1928, Mr. Bakelich served in the U.S. Army during the Korean War and was past president of Riverside Little League, where he was instrumental in the acceptance and incorporation of girl players. Lawrence was a loyal member of American Legion Post 488. He was not always able to make our meetings, but that did not stop him from being the example of a citizen soldier to his country and his community. When Commander Topinka took over as the Post commander about 4 years ago, the Post membership agreed that each member would be provided an American Legion cap to wear with pride at Post functions and at community functions. The Post arranged for a cap to be sent to Lawrence. He was so overwhelmed when it arrived by mail. When he first received it about a year ago, his wife told Commander Topinka that he wore it for days with pride. Commander Topinka recently talked to Lawrence's wife, and she told him that the cap meant so much to her husband that he was laid to rest with it. Commander Topinka simply cried. Could I have a moment of silence? Okay, everybody, thank you for participating today. I'm really excited to see Jason Spergren involved. Jason, thank you for joining us. Thank you for becoming a member. It looks like you might be in your car right now. So if you're
Yes,
driving,
sir.
if
No,
you're
I'm not
driving,
driving. I'm
Good.
parked.
Okay, be careful. And did you get your cap yet? Did you get your cap?
Yes, yes, sir. I did. Thank you very much, and thank you for letting me become a member of the Legion.
We appreciate you very much, and just know that even though we are distant like this, my intent is to overcome this pandemic one way or another. So keep that in mind. So we welcome you, and I usually have Jason do membership, but I already kind of did membership this morning, or not this morning, earlier when I talked about our membership numbers. Jason and I were at a test meeting for this Zoom on Wednesday, and we had asked Mr. Ward and Mr. Neppel if they could contact people on the post. Could I just ask if I could ask John if he contacted anybody and what he kind of got from people that aren't present today? Any comments from other veterans? John? John's parting. John, you got to unmute. Still waiting. Marla, can you help him unmute since you're in control?
Mr. Neppel, can you hit the microphone icon, please, and unmute your microphone?
I found it. Okay. Yes, I did contact some people, but unfortunately, I made some errors. One of the things, because I'm new to this system,
That's okay.
and one of the problems I did was I gave them the address from like our Thursday meeting instead of this meeting. And I will not make the mistake again.
Don't worry about it, John. This is all new. So and interestingly enough, I don't know of many posts that are doing this, but I don't mind setting a standard. So thank you. But did you at least talk to
I know.
people?
And
I'm
trying to.
Were the people okay though when you talked to them?
Yeah, they were very happy about it, and I felt real bad about the fact that I was going to email. I should have emailed you and said, tell everybody that the new address is the one that you're going to give them on the current thing that you sent. But I didn't. But we'll get it right next time.
Well, we'll talk more about that later because I'll talk to you in terms of what I'd ideally like to do in terms of our buddy checking. Let's ask Mr. Ward. Mr. Ward, did you manage to get through to some people?
Yes, sir, Commander, I did. I even talked to to Commissioner Tolman's wife and told her how to have him dial in. I know he's out there because I see his phone is lit up, but I don't know if he's figured out how to unmute it yet.
That's okay. He'll figure it out. Were people okay as a whole out
Yes,
there, Mr. Ward?
I have no one who had any complaints whatsoever.
Good. And then Jason, do you remember who were the two members that I had the police chief check on today? Help me out. It's been a long day.
Off the top of my head, I can't remember. I was just looking at that email too.
Was it Terrence?
Hang on, I'm gonna try to pull it up here.
God, it shows you how long of a day it's been for me, especially spending most of
for everybody, I think.
I think it was Terrence Farmer. I got a hold of Terrence, and who was the other person I got a hold of? The chief.
Son. One of the sons, I think.
Yeah. So we've had three members that we've had trouble getting a hold of, and I got a hold of them, two of them finally, with the help of Chief Wenzel from the Riverside Police Department, and they just said one has been kind of ill, and the other one has just been very busy, and they said they'd get back to me. So another reason why I want to do these meetings is, and especially on Zoom, is during this very strange time, I would like to know if people need help. And that's really what the American Legion is about, is making sure that we are there in one shape or another, even if people don't come to meetings. I don't think meetings are a real show of how an organization functions. A real organization functions by taking care of people when they need it the most. And I don't like not knowing what's going on with people in the post. I just need to know everybody's okay. So there's still one person I need to still get a hold of, and I'll keep trying and trying and trying. In terms of community outreach, I'm not really sure what we're going to be doing with poppies for Memorial Day. Memorial Day, I'm waiting for Coach Sisolek to join us. Jason, if you could do me a favor and maybe give a buzz to Coach and remind him of the meeting today, just in case. He may presume that we're using the same meeting ID. Unfortunately, Zoom assigns different meeting IDs every time you do a meeting. Am I right, Marla? Isn't that true? Yes? Just give me a thumbs up.
Just about every time.
Yeah, just about. So, Jason, if you could call Coach, because we kind of need a briefing for everybody about the Memorial Day. So I do know that Jason had told me that he had gotten a hold of some people that wanted to sponsor poppies, but I just don't know how that's going to turn out right now, because Memorial Day is kind of in transition in light of the pandemic. In terms of finance, our operational account is approximately $400 right now. I'm trying to get it higher, but I need to get to the bank. The bank got issues regarding the pandemic, so I'm going to probably, with the approval of you all, move some money from our CD to our operational account. If there's any objections, please say now. But I'm going to try to move $1,000 to our operational account, and the reason is that my hope is that we're going to have more SAL members for whom we're going to be purchasing caps, and I need the money. So if there's no objection, I'm going to take that as unanimous consent on behalf of the post. Is that all right, everybody? Any questions? Any comments?
No.
Good, good. Thank you. So, also in terms of our CD, we have approximately $48,000 in our CD. Yes, Joe Topinka, the commander, is our finance officer, as well as our acting adjutant. And those of you who don't know, Marla Curran is our administrative assistant for the post and the squadron. And so I want to thank Marla for everything she's doing for us, because she's keeping us on track. We would not have a website right now.
Marla.
We would not have a website, and we would not have a Zoom account like this, nor would we have a Facebook account if it wasn't for Marla. Marla is bringing us into the 21st century. And my hope, and Jason, you're our newest member, spread the word. People can be a part of our post no matter where they live. And I know there's a lot of former Riversiders that are still Riversiders at heart that would want to still be a member of this post. You can still be a member of this post at a distance. It's a new concept, everybody. A lot of people think that a post is jurisdictionally confined. The only confinement that I see is not boundaries of geography, but it's boundaries of people's desires. So if somebody wants to be a member of our post and do something great in Riverside, California, but wants to be a member of Riverside, Illinois, Post 488, I'll take them. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Good to me.
Good. Now, new business and correspondence. First thing is, are you beeping, Jason? You must be.
Yeah,
important.
I'm good. Don't worry about it. It's
Okay.
GPS.
Okay. Oh, no problem. I get it.
Hey, Joe, I think Coach is on now.
Okay, good. Coach is on. Thanks a lot, Jason. Coach, are you there? Coach?
No.
Coach? No?
Well, I got him on my other phone, and he should be signing on shortly.
Okay, that's fine. We got some time. We will talk to Coach about Memorial Day. Let us first talk about, let's ask Marla. Marla, I'm going to have you be doing a report every month. Do you have anything for the group? Anything that's of interest?
So I was also reaching out for the poppies. My best friend works at the Athletico in downtown Riverside, and the owner of Athletico was very interested, and we were going to meet to talk details, but then all of this happened. Same with a couple other businesses I was going to visit, but this has kind of thrown a wrench in all of it. So everything else. So I reached out. I know I emailed you back. I sent you the response from my guidance counselor from RV High School. He sounded pretty enthused. He reached out to their community outreach person to try and just see what we can do with like a memorial cleanup and some kind of volunteer work for that. But then again, all of this has happened, and that's kind of thrown a wrench in everybody's plans.
I would love any ideas regarding poppies in terms of this pandemic. And I'm not sure how we do it, but we could do it somehow, some way. There's got to be some way, even if it meant, even if it meant getting some giant poppies, or my wife just put a big bow on a tree. And I asked her, why are you doing that? And she said, because I'm just showing support for my country and everybody who might be sick. So if there is an idea that you all have, I'm open to it. I'm open to it. Any thoughts from anybody? I throw it open.
Do we have to sell it in the Riverside area, or can we go out?
We can go anywhere.
Okay.
But Riverside wants liability insurance, and frankly, I don't want to pay $500 to sell
I don't blame you.
$2 poppies. It's the juice is not worth the squeeze.
It shouldn't be necessary because I've done this in Berwyn with our groups for many years, and they've never asked me for a certificate of insurance.
Any other thoughts?
I feel like Berwyn is much more veteran friendly also.
Yeah.
You need to come to this side of the border, Commander.
Yeah, I do.
I'll open the tunnel for you.
I know there's a great Czech restaurant at the Plaza restaurant that's definitely over the border.
We'll check your passport at the border.
I know you will. Thanks, Mr. Hopper. You're a good man. But I would ask you all to think about it, because at this point, I would like to be innovative. There's got to be something we do. And if it means, I had one idea, and I don't know if it's worth throwing out there. What about I don't know if somebody knows. I don't know if Hauser or Ames or St. Mary's are doing any lunches or doing any pickups.
Bessie Gross is doing it.
They are?
Yes, they low-income families can go get the lunches during the day for their children.
Jason, is there any way that we could maybe, I don't know, give them some poppies to pass out with their lunches?
Possible. I could talk to the superintendent. He used to be my neighbor when I was a kid, so we know each other on a personal level, so I can talk to him. Well, the principal, not superintendent.
Jason, give him a call or talk to him and seeing if we could maybe. I guess the other Jason said that that he found somebody that was willing to donate some money for the poppies. What about the idea of donating some money for the poppies to give to kids for their lunch baskets? So when they get the poppy around Memorial Day, closer to Memorial Day, this could be a great idea. What do you guys think about that? I'm just throwing that out there.
It could possibly work, but I'd be more concerned about parents trying to think we're pushing the military idea on their kids.
Joe, this is John Fraga.
Yes, sir.
I will donate some money to the Poppy Fund. So figure about $300.
Jason, Mr.
Yes,
Fraga, Mr. Fraga is willing to donate $300 to the Poppy Fund. I know you're the new guy, but if you could find a way to contact some of the superintendent you know of, and maybe some other superintendent. You're in North Riverside, right, Jason?
Yes, Brookfield, North Riverside, all around.
if you know some people in the local schools, would you ask them? And tell them that a Post member is willing to donate a poppy for free to every student closer to Memorial Day. And I know there could be issues regarding the military thing, the quote military, but I don't know. The last couple of years, the attendance at our Memorial Day event has just been amazing. So maybe there's find out and see. I got Mr. Frigo who's willing to donate, and I have no problems with writing up a wonderful article for the Landmark and getting it out there.
Okay.
And that brings up another issue. I forgot to put it down here on new business because Tom Sisolak's not back yet. I don't know if you guys realize, but there was an email out from Bob Upuse, the editor of the Landmark, who said that advertisement is low, and that the Landmark could certainly, because of the pandemic, and the Landmark could use some money for advertisement. What about the idea of us doing an advertisement in the Landmark closer to Memorial Day and talking about how the Post is going to hand out poppies with the assistance of the donations of people like Mr. Friga to kids? Would that be a problem for anybody? Would you all be supportive of us doing an advertisement like that?
Yes, this is Joe Triani. I absolutely support that. And I'll go ahead and match the previous donation.
Jason, my new Jason. Sorry, I got Jason 1 and Jason 2 here. Jason, we got $600 on the line right now. Work some magic. Work some magic with the schools. I think if we can't have, if we can do, Tom Sisolak's going to talk to you, and he and I talked about a week ago as the pandemic thing was starting to warm up, and I suggested to Coach that we do a Memorial Day function, but do it through Riverside TV, so that it could be done through cable, and maybe they could do it live like this. I think if we can't do things with people, let's do a poppy pass out along with a cable presentation for Memorial Day. That's a way to touch people without touching them. What do you think, everybody? Is that a good plan? So Jason, I just need your help. What do you think? What do you think, Marla?
I work at Comoric School, and I can talk to them. I know they're kind of really busy right now trying to figure out what's going on. They weren't really prepared for e-learning, but they're also doing lunches on Mondays and Wednesdays.
So we could maybe do with
That's in North Riverside.
So I don't know much about District 96 right now, what's going on, because they're kind of their own little bird. But with Memorial Day being the 25th, wouldn't it be neat if we maybe we could do an article, say the week of May 13th, hand out the poppies on the 20th for lunch, and then basically have the advertisement and let everybody know, hopefully by then, Tom will have it arranged that they should tune into the cable station to watch the Memorial Day function. What do you think of that as a interesting plan? Any objection, anybody? What do you think, Colonel Day, our great mentor of mentors?
I think it's great.
Okay, I'm thinking on my feet here, everybody. I'm just thinking on my feet.
Joe?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. As you guys know, I work full-time in public health, so I've got a dash right now. We're pretty much high operational tempo, but I'll catch up with you by phone. And again, you got my support for the poppy thing.
Hey, sir, hopefully you've been reading some of my articles that I've been posting.
Yes. Yeah.
Have they been good?
Right on button. I mean, right on point.
Okay. Thanks, sir. Appreciate it. I'm a public health kind of guy. Someday I'm going to be a doctor like you.
Okay. Over and out.
Thanks, sir.
Take care, Joe.
Bye-bye.
So, Jason, my new Jason, if you could just get some information, and Marla, if you could work with Jason and I, we'll just, we'll try to go forward with this and try to get this the maximum exposure to students. Because really all it's a matter of is taking the poppies and, you know, take them in bundles to the different schools and then letting the schools deal with it. Know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Do we need like mini flyers attached to the poppies
I don't know.
with like the logo, post info?
You know, right now, Jason has the poppies somewhere, either Jason or Jim. So I'm trying to find the poppies that we had for Christmas. We have them somewhere. You found them. Oh, God, Jason, you're great. I was worried there for a second. Thank God.
Commander,
Yes, Mr. Ward.
how many do you have?
How many do we have, Jason?
Can you hear me right now?
I can hear you a little bit.
Coach keeps blowing up my phone. I don't know what his deal is. He can't get into the meeting, so.
Well,
he's just calling me like
he can use
800
any of
times.
those. He can use that phone number for Chicago, 1-312-626-6799.
I know. I told him.
Okay. That's all right.
The poppies, I found the box, but I didn't count how many were in there. It's the unopened box that you had shipped out to us.
I think there's like 300 to 500 in that box.
But
So,
I had an additional idea for the poppies. I
Go
thought
for it.
about this a bit. Can you hear me still?
Yep, go for it.
What about, because a lot of people are doing stuff online right now. Pretty much everything is shifted to online. People are doing concerts and events online. Could we do like virtual poppies? Like Marla could maybe throw a design of a poppy maybe, and people could put it on their social media and make a donation, and then we could send them the graphic for the poppy.
Oh yeah, I mean, because
We
I mean,
could
go ahead.
we could do like you ever see the borders on like Facebook profile pictures? It could be like I supported post
Exactly.
488. It could have like a poppy.
Yep.
I like that.
I like it.
Can we try to do a combination of both? Because I'd like to get the money. I'd like to get the money from those folks who just donated. Sorry, I have to be a money grubber at some point.
Well, we
Awesome.
would make people pay for the digital one as well.
You can do that?
It wouldn't be free.
Yeah.
Really?
That's what we got Marla for.
Marla, figure it out, man.
I
If you can
will.
figure it out, does anybody have any objection to the way forward there with basically doing handheld poppies? Jason can get us a list, but Marla can also do the electronic thing.
I also do that 22-mile ruck march every year. Well, I try to do it every year if my body lets me, but I could try to see if I can get some out on that and see what I can get moving in that one too as well. It's a 22-mile ruck
Are they gonna
march.
be doing
where,
it?
I'm gonna try.
They could probably do it with social distancing.
I don't know if they're going to do it this year. I know the sign up is still there. They haven't canceled it yet.
Interesting.
May,
Oh.
right?
Chicago Veterans has not canceled the Ruck March yet. Because I have done it. Only the last few miles, but it's still on as of yet.
Okay, because
If
I
we-
know Ron Newman wanted to do it. I see his look on his face right now. He definitely wants to do the rucksack march for 22 miles. Go ahead.
It is a bear to do, Joe.
I'm kidding.
Now,
Sorry.
if we need more physical poppies, I am in possession of 1,000, and all I want to do is recoup my cost.
Jason, we not
Yes, sir.
only have $600 on the line. We have Marla with this digital thing, but we now have possibly 1,500 poppies. So
Yes.
show me. Here's my commander's intent. Do what you would like to do.
Okay.
Be creative. I don't discourage creativity. If anything, I embrace it, because the only way as a veterans organization we will survive, and this is a commentary of the Legion as a whole, is by being innovative and always thinking about veterans and teaching young people about what we've learned so they hopefully don't have to experience some of the things we've lived through. Does that make sense?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Strange as that may sound.
One more idea.
Yeah.
If this does end up going into May, a lot of people right now, they're putting like stuff in their windows. They're doing like hearts in the window, and they were doing something on St. Patty's Day. They're like putting stuff in their window, and they're doing like community walks, like as like a scavenger hunt. If this goes into May, we could have people make poppies and put them in their windows.
Like a coloring thing?
Something. Have you seen what they're doing? Everybody's putting stuff in their windows, and they're doing like walks around the neighborhood as like scavenger hunts with their kids.
I have no problems with exploring that idea.
We would hope it wouldn't last until that long.
Marla, the scientists are saying up until July, some scientists are predicting a resurgence in the fall. Some scientists now are saying that Cook County will be the epicenter next week. Depending on who you talk to right now, you can pretty much pick an opinion.
I don't go with opinions. I go with raw data.
Then right now, New Orleans and New York City are in bad shape.
The one thing that I have seen as far as the CDC is concerned, that the amount of cases that was announced between yesterday and today dropped by 190. So the amount of cases today were just over 600. A couple of days ago, it was over 800. So there's a possible trend of it dropping. If it drops again tomorrow, that's an indication that we're on the down.
It went up in Cook County since yesterday.
Like 488 today.
And there's at least 5 people in Riverside. There's 17 in Berwyn. They closed a bunch more offices in Berwyn.
I'm talking about the whole of Illinois, Jason.
That's I don't know. I don't think it's gonna get any better.
Well, let's see.
Stay inside. Stay safe.
Okay, I'm gonna leave the 4th of July SAL fundraising up to Coach, and then I'm gonna also leave the Memorial Day up to Coach. But there's 2 last things I want to talk about, and since our chaplain came on board, I'm gonna have our chaplain basically say a prayer at the end of our meeting. So John, just later on. Okay. First of all, I want to see what people might think of this idea of a bi-monthly or a weekly 30-minute meeting by Zoom. And what I'm prepared to do is not to have a meeting per se, like we're doing now, which is being taped so that Marla can do the minutes and we can post a meeting, etc. But I'm interested in and I don't mind doing this every Wednesday at 4:30. I will bring on our Zoom. We have a Zoom account that allows us unlimited time, and practically we can be up to 300 minutes or 300 members actually attending. So what do you all think about me just opening the meeting room and people can join me and put out information? Any thoughts?
It can be done. It's just, I know me, I'm working 12 hours a day lately, so it's hard to even get out and do that. That's why I'm in my truck now. I just got off work, honestly.
So what's value added? Jason, you're one of our younger folks. What would be value added for you? What is good for you? Is it easy? Is it better for you to go to?
I think it'll take out a lot of guessing and seeing where people are at with the poppies and stuff like that.
Okay.
And everybody will be on the same track if we do something at least weekly.
Okay, because when I was on active duty, and we had issues, especially if we were active division or whatever it was called, we were meeting all the time. I mean, it was a regular thing. Everybody knew what was going on. What I'm going to do is this: if there's no objection, every Wednesday, I'm going to get on at 4:30. and I'm just going to have office hours. And if people come and they want to put out stuff or they want to talk to me, I'm there.
Okay.
If you don't want to come, that's great, but I will be there. And what I will continue to do is I will continue as I get information. I mean, what I'd ask everybody is you get information like by email, like I get information from National. I don't get email a lot of times from 5th District or 1st Division, but I get a lot of email from National. I get some email from the department in Bloomington, but a lot of times I just collect information because I have a lot of military health connections, and so I get a lot. What I'd ask all of you to do is email Marla. Now, Marla, I'm sorry I'm putting you in that position, but it's not as bad as you think because you're probably not going to get that many emails. But if you guys hear of stuff that you think is critical, please send to Marla so we can post it and we can put it on our Facebook site so that it's there for everybody. So we're value added and we're a collection. And then I will go online at 4:30 because I have office hours for Texas A&M Law School from 6 to 8. So I'll be online from 4:30 to probably 5:45. I'll just sit and listen and watch. If people want to talk to me and put something out, and if we get it to a point where it becomes a habit for a weekly meeting, we'll do it. And maybe it'll become popular. Because I think what I would like to give to veterans, and I mean all veterans in the community, is an opportunity to have a place where they can go and say, hey, this is going on, can somebody help me? That's what I'm trying to do. It's a town hall, if you will, a weekly town hall for veterans. I know it's a kind of an aspirational goal, but I figure if I do it every week, I'll be like a lint trap. And eventually I'll catch a lot of lint and the socks will be white and the clothes will be clean and all that. I'm sorry, it's a washer and dryer illusion. I can't help it. I've been doing a little bit of wash today as well. So that's what I'm going to do. And unless there's any objections or thoughts, Jason, as Vice Commander, what do you think?
I like it.
Okay, good. Because Jason
Can
and I have,
know
yes.
if you guys email me? Can we use the Legion email so that I can streamline those?
Yes. Does everybody know the Legion email address? Don't worry about it. I will send out. Hey, do me a favor, Marla. You got the mailing list, my mailing list. Could you send out
I do.
Good. Could you send out an email with the last list I sent out was the most up-to-date list. There's still some people that we don't have good emails on, but we're working it. We're certainly a lot better than 2-3 months ago. We've come a long way. Trust me, we really have.
You have a number of emails that bounce back still, so they're
I know.
are no good.
I know, Greg, I'm trying. That's why I sent out to a bunch of people those wonderful triplicate forms that some of you have received. I'm sorry, but that is how the American Legion updates its records. They still use a triplicate form. Jason, my new Jason, you'll understand that the American Legion has a tendency to be a little backwards in some of its admin stuff. But if you just deal with it like you remember dealing with it in the military, you can overcome it. You know, you can overcome the crap to make things good. Okay. That's my
Embrace the
attitude.
suck.
I haven't heard that expression in a long time. Oh, that's good. And
This
so
is
the last.
Coach. I'm in.
Okay, good, Coach. We have saved the last for the best. We have new business. We have 4th of July SAL fundraising, and then you were going to give a Memorial Day update.
Okay. Hopefully everybody can hear me now that finally got the right phone numbers. I was listening to most of the meeting, but it was muted, so I couldn't talk. Now it's open. Okay, on Memorial Day, right now everything is still on a holding pattern according to what develops with the coronavirus. And I've talked with Kathy Haley, and right now also TV Channel 6 is on hold. The equipment is still locked up in the Village Hall. The crew that works with Channel 6 TV is also not permitted to go anywhere or do anything. So we'll just have to wait and see if that opens up regarding Channel 6 as a broadcast of some abbreviated nature. Otherwise, Kathy and I are also working on perhaps even developing an e-flash communication, which comes from the village of Riverside for Memorial Day. So everybody should actually try to get linked up into the Riverside e-flash so that emails are sent automatically about any event happening in Riverside. That's probably the best communication for people in the village right now. Just got another one from the police department. And then I'm also going to communicate with the Riverside Landmark newspaper, Bob Uphughes, see if he can also publish something regarding a newspaper abbreviated Memorial Day story or procedure that people at home that get the landmark or have the app to read the landmark for free, they can actually do a personal at-home Memorial Day little service by reading what Bob Uphughes writes in the landmark, and also from Kathy Haley on the e-flash. That's if Channel 6 TV Riverside is still locked, unavailable. So everything is still flexible, and I'm rolling with all the different situations and try to keep everybody updated. Any questions on Memorial Day at this point? Because St. Mary's Church is closed. Everything is locked.
Yeah, Coach, I can help you when you need it.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you. Any other questions on Memorial Day? We will have something. It might be, as I said, a personal family reading or observing what's in the Riverside e-flash and what also might be in the Riverside Landmark newspaper as kind of like the minimal Memorial Day service.
Coach, please let Kathy and all the leadership know that if all else fails, we can use this format. And we have the professional account. We can handle, I think, up to, Marla, help me out, 300 people, or is it 500 people? I don't remember.
Okay.
It's a lot of people, and it's unlimited time.
So there is the possibility to do something. So if we had to, we could use Zoom. We could have the mayor speak. We could have the supervisors speak. Hell, we could have every politician from the township speak if necessary. But keep that in the back of your mind, because a lot of people are discovering Zoom or the other system, WebEx, for the first time, or they've known about it, but they've avoided it because they don't like it. Now they have no choice. So let's take advantage. Let's take advantage of this crisis to teach people how to survive with technology as much as possible, even though I don't particularly like it either.
Okay, that sounds like another possibility. I'll keep all options open.
Because it's part of our mission to teach, but also to remember. And Memorial Day is about remembering. So we have to teach and remember. So I charge you with being innovative, okay?
That's fine. That's what kind of happens every year.
I know.
Innovative regarding whatever situations developed during the weeks prior to Memorial Day.
So what about
regarding
Fourth of July?
Also regarding the July 4th, once again, that entire parade and Guthrie Park is still on hold. Could be a situation where both of those events are canceled. But if they are a go, I do have the applications for the parade and the applications for the booth in Guthrie Park. And they, once again, are just in a holding pattern according to what might be permitted. And then we can go with the exact specifics once we know if Memorial Day is a go, or if July 4th is a go for the parade, or if July 4th is a go for Guthrie Park with all the churches, all the Boy Scouts, they all have booths in Guthrie Park right after the parade, so they're also on a holding pattern. But I've got things pretty well ready to go if we get the okay sign to participate in both those events on July 4th. Any questions on July 4th?
Nope.
Okay, the last thing on new business is buddy check, 2 to 3 minutes for each person. So I'm just going to start out, and I just like to keep it to 2 to 3 minutes. Jason, I'm going to start with you as the vice commander. What do you have for the group? And if you can include when you do the buddy check, one, how you doing? Are you doing okay? And two, do you know of any other veterans or members that we should be concerned about? And anything else you have for the group? How's that? That's a good 3 things.
Yeah, so I'm fine. My family's fine. My wife has been in the house 15 days now without going outside. Because we started self-isolating earlier than the governor commanded. I was in the tail end of SARS in China, so I know that this is the real deal. But unfortunately, real estate was ruled vital for some reason to industry, and so I've had to work and leave the house a few times, unfortunately. But I'm wearing a mask and gloves whenever I go out. I'm going out one last time on Tuesday, and then I'm not leaving my house for at least 2 weeks. So we're the only veterans group that I'm a part of that's doing anything like this. Everything else has been, all the other groups are online like, oh, I wish we had set something up. So it's good that we set this up. Good job, everybody.
Marla, that's for you, man. I'm thanking you. I had ideas, but I couldn't have done it without you. Okay, I will go with our new Jason. Jason.
Yes,
how you doing?
sir.
Okay?
I'm doing all right. I'm working 12 hours a day outside, keeping the cell phone service up. That's what I do. I climb cell phone towers, update the systems, and maintain them. Other than that, I mean, all around Chicago, I've been out every day.
Do you know of any veterans that need help, or do you know what's going on?
I have my brother. He's 30. He's a couple years younger than me, but what him and I have been noticing with everything going on is our PTSD is a little more haywire than it normally is. So that would be the biggest thing I would see with any kind of veteran is their PTSD kicking in higher because of what's going on.
Okay. Let me go with Mr. Ward. Mr. Ward, you stay really connected with Hines and the VA. Is there anything going on that we should be aware of that can be beneficial to us as members that just know about?
After having a telephone conference with Hines this week, we have a new director who will be coming on board Monday morning. That being said, Hines reports that we only have 4 veterans who have been reported to have contacted this virus. And none of those were at Hines. They are all at home or they went to private ERs. Now Hines restarted the Veterans Food Bank or food pantry on Wednesday, but it ran out of food and people picked up what they could. They bring it out to your car. You don't have to do anything. We just drive up by the 9th Avenue side of the building, down by the auditorium. They check your ID and they hand you prepackaged kit of food. So if anyone needs that, please avail yourself of it. The March 29th, Vietnam Veterans Commemorative Ceremony is being pushed out to be on Facebook. As soon as I get the correct URL, Marla, you know what I mean by that, I will get it to her so she can put it out to you guys where you can watch the Vietnam Veterans Commemorative Celebration on Facebook. You do not have to have a Facebook account to see this. You can simply just open it up, look at the ceremony, walk away anytime you need. And if there is anybody that you know that is needing something, reach out to me. I have a ton of connections, Greg and I, that we will get help to any veteran that needs it. But Hines is under lockdown. All non-essential surgeries are canceled. All non-essential clinic check-ins are canceled. They're pushing stuff out to May or June just to avoid anyone who might be possibly contaminated to come into the complex. But if you need anything, reach out. I'm here to help. That's all I got, Commander.
Thanks, Mr. Ward. Mr. Frisia, do you have anything for the good? And thank you very much for donating for the poppies. You are a great person. And by the way, Mr. Frisia, if there's anything you can tell us about the RTA and public transit, that'd be great as well.
The RTA is going to have a virtual meeting in April. I'm staying home as much as possible, just to stay home like the governor says. I'm not going downtown hardly at all. And, I expect to just, if I can help in any way, I will, Joe. You have to tell me where to send a check, and I will help as much as I can with Atletico and do what I can. Thank you.
Hey, Mr. Frisia, the thing what I would ask you for is that if you can make sure that we're getting good information about public transportation, that would be great. Because I know I've been reading a lot of news stories. Things have been changing a lot with Metra. Things have been changing a lot with the buses. Some people still need public transportation to get around, and I know that it's limited. So anything you can do to get us that information, I would be grateful. That's all. That's all.
I will do what I can.
I appreciate that.
I understand Metra is going to reduce their transportation schedule to about half what it is now. I'll get that as soon as possible to you.
Thanks, sir. I appreciate that. And by the way, I don't know who it was that said earlier. I think it was Coach. If you don't get the Riverside Flash, if you have not gone onto the Riverside, I don't care if you're from Brookfield or North Riverside or Riverside. I got to tell you something. I get some great information from the Riverside Flash. Heck, I know more about what's going on with traffic and criminal rates here in Texas than some of my friends in Riverside, because I'm constantly connected, and that's just the way I am. But I like to know what's going on because that's part of being part of the community. I'm going to go to Mr. Hopper. Mr. Hopper, Greg, what's going on? How you doing? Are you feeling okay? And what's going on about veterans out there?
I'm feeling fine. I haven't been in the house this long, for this long of a stretch since I went on disability in July of 2008. I am keeping busy doing other things. I've got an Audible subscription, Kindle Unlimited subscription, a library card. I got Netflix, Hulu. I've got plenty to keep me busy. So the part that bugs me is that I want to be out there helping our veterans. Unfortunately, Tony and I both, we both have underlying health issues that leave us very susceptible to this illness. And we got too many people to piss off before we leave this earth. So we're going to try to shelter in and take care of ourselves. To clarify, I think Tony misspoke when he mentioned about the pantry at Hines. It is on Thursday. It is not on Wednesday. They made the decision to restart it on Wednesday, but the pantry is on Thursdays from 11 to 1 p.m.
Okay. Thank
you. You got to get there early because we got there yesterday at 12:30 and it was already closed. So it's first come, first serve. They will verify your VA ID to make sure that you are a veteran, not taking advantage of the program. You drive up, they'll bring you a prepackaged bag with all the goodies in it, and then you just drive away. So it must have been pretty successful yesterday because they ran out of stuff. One last thing, as the chairman for the Combined Veterans Luncheon and Expo, which is scheduled to be on July 18th, currently it is on hold. I have not reached out to any other potential exhibitors at this time until some of this blows over. As you know, that is one of our huge fundraisers, that keeps this organization going every year. So if we cannot have that event, we're in trouble. So at the very least, I will look to postpone it until possibly August or September. But we cannot go and survive without having that event. So we're going to do whatever we can to continue to have that event this year, unless we have to cancel it, which I don't want to do. That's also why I haven't asked for a check from the Post yet for their participation until this blows over, until we finalize everything. Other than that, just try everybody to follow the social distancing guidelines. Don't listen to a lot of what the media wants to sensationalize. Go with the raw data that you see. You can go to the cdc.gov website or the coronavirus.gov website, which carries links to individual states as well. I'm not one to look at the media sensationalizing everything. I will go to the actual reputable sources such as the CDC and the WHO. And right now, it looks to be nationally, it looks to be on the upswing. At the state level, it looks like it might be leveling off, but I won't know that for the next couple of days. That's all I got.
Thanks, Greg. Okay, Jim R. Who's identifying as Jim R? I see a Jim R. Who's Jim R? There's a screen for Jim R. Who is that? I don't know who Jim R
They're not
is.
muted either.
Okay. Well, I'll let Jim R warm up and I'll go to John Nepple. John, thank you for all your phone calls. Don't worry about messing up with the thing. There's a lot to be learned about Zoom. For example, most people don't realize that I can do reactions. No, I can't do reactions today. Apparently you closed my reactions, Marla. I wanted to do a thumbs up for everybody, but I guess I can't do that. There's also a chat. Does everybody know there's a chat in here? You can actually say things to people like, hello, everyone. Do you see that? Hello, everyone. Do you all see the chat? No?
Now
Okay.
I do.
Okay, there's a chat, so you can actually talk behind the commander's back. Isn't that great? Didn't you always want to do that when you're on active duty? Talk behind his back. Oh, this commander's full of it. Problem is, the commander here can see it. Okay, so John, what do you have? How you doing, John? How's your wife? How's your family? And you got to go unmute. Unmute, John. John, unmute. Unmute. I'm gonna make him Marla, would you unmute John? There you go.
I'm not muted now.
Good.
I'm learning how to use it. And I'm very sorry that I gave everybody the wrong date they should do. I looked at the old email address. And that's my problem. I won't make that mistake again. Everything is good in Riverside. Hopefully everything will go good. I love you guys. I think it's kind of interesting. I've only been here for like a couple of meetings, but I like it. It's all working good.
Is your wife okay?
My wife is fine. She
Because she works in a hospital.
yes, she's at Central DuPage / Northwestern Memorial. And yes, she does patient satisfaction, and they're expecting a lot of things to happen next week. She does the healthcare, I don't do money. So the money is crazy now. So don't worry about it. Take a deep breath and think about next month.
John, just try to tell people that, again, I'll be setting up a meeting every Wednesday at 4:30. So if people want to get information, let's try to make this a meeting where we can come together, a virtual meeting. So get the word out there, okay?
It sounds good, and I think a lot of people are interested in it, and we have to figure out a way to get people to understand how to download the Zoom product so that they can work it.
I agree, and I'm trying. I worked with Commissioner Tolman today, and I failed.
We're all going to try. There's no failure. We're going to try.
Oh, you sound like Yoda in Empire Strikes Back. There is no
Actually,
try.
Yoda said, do or do not, there is no try. So
There you go.
right.
Okay. Hey, Ron, you're next.
Yeah, I'm next. Okay, you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I'm fine. Everything is fine with my family here. And the only thing I've been doing is going shopping a few times during the week.
Are you looking at me?
My son is in Amsterdam. I talked to him about 3 or 4 days ago, and his school closed up. Things are closing down there. He said he isn't too concerned about the virus right now, but he was studying artificial intelligence. He doesn't know if he can finish this, do any more courses this year. He'll be coming home in a couple of months. He said he's going to fly to New York. I said, I don't know if that's a good idea to go to New York. Anyway, the other thing was, I think most people know about Anthony. Anthony's got this website, Gordian Corps of America, and he called me about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And he wanted me to pick up a whole bunch of stuff in Bensonville. I said, well, my van doesn't hold that much. And then he says, well, you can rent a 15-length trailer, put it behind your car, you can pick up more stuff. And I kept telling him, I think, I don't know if I want to do that, this virus thing. And he called me again, are you sure you don't want to pick up this stuff? I said, I postpone picking up all these boxes for the homeless. And he said, well, most of the boxes are for the winter, next winter. I said, okay, I think you could leave those there for a few more weeks. So Anthony, he calls me sometimes, goes a little overboard. Okay. Anyway, I wanted to thank the commander because it was just before this virus thing came along. He sent me the information on paying respects to John Struso. And some of you probably know him. He was a member. And I got to talk to a couple of family members. And a few days ago, I got this card in the mail from his daughter. And I don't know if everybody can see this. The daughter sent me a very nice card. I'll read it.
That's great. Go ahead. Go ahead. That's fantastic.
And it says, Mr. Newman, thank you for coming to pay my respects to my father. It meant a lot to our family. Also, thank you for your service from the bottom of my heart. Regards, Susan. So I thought that was very nice.
Thanks, Ron. Next meeting, we're going to do a moment of silence for John. He was a very interesting fellow. He was blunt, maybe sometimes funny blunt. I'll never forget his story about the Normandy invasion. I just thought thought my jaw would drop. It was amazing. It's a loss, but if anybody read my comments in the Landmark, his oral history was taken by the Pritzker Museum, and I look forward to not only reading it but hearing it someday, because I think it's going to be some interesting stories to listen to. He will not be forgotten because his story will live on orally. So keep that in mind, Ron. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, I thought that was a very nice story. I read the whole thing about picking up bodies during D-Day.
Yeah, and the Battle of the Bulge, and the
Right.
Battle of the Bulge. There's a couple of people left, and I'm going to end it with John, our chaplain, so you can say a nice little prayer to get us on our way, and then I'll close the meeting. I think there's 2 other people who called in. Is Colonel Day still there?
Yeah, he's
Colonel
there.
Day, you're next. You're online, sir. And how you feeling, sir? How's your wife? How's your family?
We're all 3 of us are doing real good, and In fact, I did a funeral Wednesday. It was a gorgeous day up here in Chicago, and but it was interesting because even the family members were 10 feet apart all around the casket. Nobody was, close to the casket like they usually are to hear the priest and things like that. So it was a very strange situation, and but it worked out nice. I fired 3 rounds and played taps, and it worked out really nice.
Well, Colonel, thank you Thank you for your mentoring. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, I was with Colonel Day for Veterans Day where we were freezing our butts off.
Yeah.
Yeah, we both froze our butts off at Soldiers Field on Veterans Day. And I have to admit, that was a unique experience. So, Colonel Day I've kind of made him our mentor for the post. So, and that's out of respect, Colonel Day, and we thank you a lot.
And I turned 80 on March 7th.
You don't look a day over 60. And there's one last person that's called in. So 708-447-3767. Who is that?
That is Coach.
Coach, how you feeling? How you doing? Anything else for the group?
I'm feeling fine. Been in the house for 2 weeks so far. And every now and then go out to check, see what the spring flowers are actively doing. They're trying to sprout, but it's been pretty cold, unfortunately. But I do have 3 things I'd like to mention. If anyone would like to sign up for the Riverside eFlash email communication, this is the phone number to call, 708-447-2700. Once again, 708-447-2700. Call that village number and then give them your email address, and you will be on the eFlash, which frequently comes out every day if there are important things that have to be announced. Secondly, I am also actively checking the Riverside men who are in active military deployment right now to find out where they are, how they're doing, if they were sent back home. My next door neighbor, Hunter Skaman, is in the United States Marines. He was scheduled to ship out 2 days before the lockdown began. He was going to be shipped to South Korea, and I'm hoping that order was canceled, but I'll check to see where he is. And finally, maybe some of you have heard on the Chicago News TV channels that the mayor of Chicago and the city attorney general have also decided to release from Cook County Jail and also from the California Avenue Prison 500 inmates every day so that they aren't confined to the prison, which has a lot of COVID-19 virus. They don't know where these prisoners are going to go, but I guess that's the current plan. That's all I had to add to the announcements.
To add to your the whole military movement, military across the board has canceled movement for everybody. So anybody
Right.
who's deployed, they're staying in Afghanistan. They are not coming home. Anybody who's stateside is staying in their base.
That's correct, Jason. That happened on March 12th.
Yep.
Thanks, Jason. Okay,
No problem.
last but not least, I want to give John his 2 cents worth, and then John, I'm going to ask you to close our meeting with a prayer as our chaplain. John, are you doing okay? Your kids okay? Everything okay?
Doing okay. My one son is his last semester up at Marquette. Unfortunately, he's He's confined to his apartment, working part-time for his company. My other son's home, my wife's home. We're all doing pretty good, actually. Mr. Ward, Mr. Hopper, I want to ask you a question. With the food bank over at the VA hospital, I live right down the street. My son has some community service hours that he needs to get completed. He's relatively healthy. I'm relatively healthy. I'm going to be coming up on some furlough days unexpectedly from work. So if they're looking for help, let me know. We would not mind helping out over there if they need some help at the food bank at the VA.
John, just so you know, the VA is on lockdown. No visitors are allowed inside, period, unless they're necessary for a veteran who needs help, let's say, with a wheelchair and needs to be pushed around or needs assistance.